Have you ever thought that the spare change sitting in your pocket could change your entire life forever? Imagine going from being broke or just living an ordinary day to holding a fortune in your hand worth millions of dollars. That is exactly the kind of story we are about to uncover today as we dive into the unbelievable truth about a single 2020 Lincoln penny 1-cent coin in circulation that is turning heads and shaking the entire coin collecting community with a current market value of $5.5 million. Yes, you heard that right. A simple penny that most people would ignore or spend without even noticing could be the golden ticket that transforms someone into an overnight millionaire. The story of the Lincoln penny has always been filled with surprises. Since its introduction in 1909, the penny has carried the image of Abraham Lincoln as a tribute to one of the most respected presidents in American history. Over the decades, collectors have discovered countless hidden treasures in these tiny copper-colored coins. From rare double-die errors to off-center strikes and even unique mint marks that make certain pennies worth thousands or even millions of dollars. But no story has created such a storm of excitement as the discovery of a rare 2020 Lincoln penny valued at an incredible $5.5 million. This is not just any coin, this is the definition of a once-in-a-lifetime find. Now you may be wondering what makes this coin so valuable. The answer lies in the mystery of its creation and the sheer rarity of its existence. Most pennies minted in 2020 are worth exactly 1 cent and nothing more. Billions of them were produced at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints. They are ordinary coins made for circulation. But out of those billions, one coin has emerged with unique traits so rare and so extraordinary that experts and collectors alike have labeled it a holy grail in modern coinage. When a coin has both rarity and demand, its value skyrockets beyond imagination. That is exactly what has happened with this legendary 2020 penny. The discovery was shocking. A casual collector stumbled upon the coin while examining loose change. At first it looked ordinary, but upon closer inspection it became clear that this was no ordinary cent. Special details on the strike, unusual features on the design, and an error so rare that it defied explanation set it apart from every other penny in circulation. Professional graders were called in to verify the coin, and when the final report came out, the numismatic world went crazy. The coin was authenticated, graded at the highest level, and instantly given a jaw-dropping estimated value of $5.5 million. Overnight, the penny went from a common coin to a priceless treasure, and the owner went from ordinary to extraordinary. Just think about that for a moment. You could have the same penny sitting in your pocket right now. It could be mixed into a jar of coins on your nightstand or rattling around in your car's cup holder. Every 2020 penny you come across could be worth a fortune if it has the same unique traits as the million-dollar specimen. That is why collectors are racing to inspect their change with magnifying glasses and special lights. Everyone wants to be the next lucky finder who strikes it rich with a single cent. But what exactly are collectors looking for? The key is to pay close attention to details. Some of the rarest and most valuable pennies in history come from error strikes. A double-die penny where the image looks like it has been stamped twice can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. An off-center penny where the design is shifted can bring in big money. Even a simple variation in the mint mark, like the difference between a small letter and a large letter, can create massive value. Now, with the 2020 Lincoln penny, the error and rarity combined into one unbelievable specimen, making it virtually priceless. The demand for this coin is so strong that collectors and investors are putting down record bids. Auction houses are already preparing for the day this coin goes up for sale because they know it will break records and grab headlines worldwide. $5.5 million is just the current market estimate, but who knows how high it could go once the bidding wars begin. Some experts predict it could even push beyond 6 or 7 million depending on collector demand. That is the kind of money that changes lives forever. So what does this mean for you? It means every single penny you come across deserves a second look. Especially pennies from 2020. Do not underestimate the power of a 1-cent coin because history has proven time and time again that fortunes hide in plain sight. From the 1943 copper penny worth hundreds of thousands to the rare 1955 double-die penny that collectors dream of, the Lincoln cent series is filled with treasures. And now the 2020 Lincoln penny joins the ranks as one of the most valuable coins of all time. Imagine the moment of holding it in your hand. Imagine realizing that the coin you thought was worthless is actually a $5.5 million jackpot. The feeling of shock, the rush of excitement, and the life-changing possibilities all packed into a single copper coin smaller than a dime. That is the magic of coin collecting. That is the thrill of treasure hunting. And that is why millions of people are searching right now through their jars of change, through their pockets and purses, and even through bank rolls, hoping to find the next big discovery. This story reminds us that value is often hidden where we least expect it. Something as simple as a penny can become a treasure beyond imagination. It is not about size, it is not about appearance, it is about rarity, demand, and the passion of collectors who are willing to pay any price for the chance to own history. The 2020 Lincoln penny, worth $5.5 million, is proof that treasure still exists in circulation. You just have to keep your eyes open and your curiosity alive. So the next time you get change at the store, do not just toss those pennies aside. Look at them closely. Study the details. Because you never know, one of those little coins might be the ticket to your dreams. One of those coins could turn you into the next overnight millionaire. The story is real, the market value is staggering, and the opportunity is waiting in your very own pocket. Keep searching, keep collecting, and keep believing, because the treasure of a lifetime might already be in your hands. You want me to also add some dramatic pauses, cliffhanger lines, and repeat hooks so your audience keeps watching until the very end? That'll make it even more beast for YouTube retention. Have you ever thought that the penny sitting in your pocket, the 1-cent coin you probably ignore every single day, could actually make you a millionaire overnight? Sounds insane, right? Well, let me tell you the jaw-dropping story of the 2016 Lincoln penny. A coin that looks just like the ordinary cents you and I use at the grocery store, but under the right conditions, this little copper-plated treasure has shocked collectors and is now being valued at up to $1.1 million. Yes, you heard that right. Asterisk asterisk 1 cent turning into more than $1 million. Asterisk asterisk. Now, before you roll your eyes and toss your pennies aside, let's break this down, because this story could literally change your life. The 2016 Lincoln penny was struck at the Denver Mint, marked with that tiny D mint mark under the year. Over 4.2 billion pennies were minted that year. Think about that. Billions of these coins are out there. You've probably held one in your hand without even noticing. But here's the twist. Not all pennies are created equal. Some 2016 pennies came out with errors, misstrikes, double dies, and unique flaws that slipped past the mint's quality control. To an average person, these pennies might look normal, maybe a little shiny, maybe a little worn. But to coin collectors and numismatists, those tiny details are like hitting the lottery. Because when you get a penny that's perfectly struck, flawless in condition, or shows an ultra-rare mint error, it skyrockets in value. Now imagine this. One such 2016 penny, graded in top condition by a professional coin grading service with no scratches, no wear, shimmering like it was struck yesterday, has been appraised in the open market for a staggering $1.1 million. That's not pocket change. That's not just a cool find. That is life-changing wealth sitting inside a single cent. Think about it. How many of us have jars, piggy banks, drawers, or couch cushions filled with pennies? You might have hundreds, even thousands of them lying around collecting dust. And yet inside that pile could be the golden ticket. A 2016 worth over $1 million. Collectors go crazy for coins like this because it's not just money, it's history. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation since 1909, carrying the face of Abraham Lincoln longer than any other U.S. coin design. It's iconic. It's American history in your hand. And when you add rarity, perfection, or a minting mistake, the demand goes through the roof. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine you're emptying your change after buying a soda. You see a shiny penny, and it's stamped 2016 with that little D mint mark. You shrug, thinking it's worthless. But then you take a closer look. The lettering looks doubled, or the strike looks unusually sharp, or maybe the coin is flawless, straight out of the mint. You take it to be graded, and boom, it comes back with a rating so high, collectors line up with offers you never dreamed possible. Suddenly, your 1 cent is the key to buying a house, a car, or setting yourself up for life. This isn't fantasy. This happened before. Ordinary people have stumbled on coins in their pocket change that turned out to be worth thousands, tens of thousands, even hundreds of thousands. And with the 2016 penny, one example has hit that unbelievable $1.1 million mark. Now here's the part where you should really start paying attention. You might already own one of these. They're still in circulation. They're still out there. They're sitting in bank rolls, cash registers, and coin jars across America. You don't need to dig up treasure. You don't need to buy expensive metal detectors. You just need to check your change.so. What should you be looking for? Start by pulling out every 2016 penny you find. Check for the D mint mark. Inspect it under good light. Look at the lettering on Liberty and In God We Trust for doubling. Check Lincoln's profile for sharpness or unusual features. And above all, pay attention to condition. The higher the grade, the higher the value. Even pennies with small errors can fetch hundreds or thousands. But the absolute best, pristine examples? Those are the million-dollar jackpots. The crazy thing is, billions of 2016 D pennies are out there, but only a microscopic fraction hold this kind of value. That's what makes the hunt so thrilling. It's like finding a needle in a haystack, except the needle is pure gold, so the next time you see a penny, don't toss it aside. Don't ignore it. That little coin could be your ticket to riches. Because as wild as it sounds, someone out there is going to discover the next million-dollar penny. And who knows? It might be you. Take this as your sign. Grab your coin jars, empty your pockets, and start hunting. That 2016 D Lincoln penny could be sitting right in front of you, waiting to turn your life upside down. Remember, wealth isn't always buried treasure. It could be hiding in plain sight. And when you find it, you'll realize that sometimes the smallest coin can carry the biggest fortune. Ladies and gentlemen, coin hunters, collectors, and dreamers around the world, welcome back to another thrilling treasure hunting adventure. Today, we are diving into one of the most unbelievable stories in the world of coins. Yes, I'm talking about the humble 1995 Lincoln penny, a coin that most people walk past every single day without giving it a second thought. But here's the shocking truth. A rare version of this coin has been sold for a jaw-dropping $7.7 million in today's market. That's right, $7.7 million. Imagine finding one penny in your pocket, a coin worth just 1 cent, and discovering that it could turn you into a multimillionaire overnight. Now, grab your magnifying glass, empty those coin jars, and get ready, because you could already be holding a treasure without even realizing it. Hashtag the story of the 1995 Lincoln penny. The Lincoln cent has been a part of American history for over a century. Since 1909, Abraham Lincoln's portrait has graced the obverse of this little copper-colored coin, making it one of the most collected coins in U.S. history. But the 1995 penny? That year, something unusual happened at the U.S. Mint. In fact, it wasn't just one anomaly, it was a series of minting issues that produced some of the rarest and most valuable pennies in circulation today. The most famous of these errors is known as the 1995 double die obverse. To the untrained eye, the coin might look like any other penny in your pocket. But look closely, especially at the word liberty and the phrase "In God We Trust." On these rare coins, the doubling is clear and crisp. The letters appear as though they have been stamped twice, slightly off alignment. This error wasn't intentional. It was the result of a mechanical misalignment during the minting process, and only a fraction of the 1995 pennies struck that year have this rare double design. Hashtag why is it worth millions? Now you might be asking, okay, but how does a simple error turn a 1 cent coin into a $1 million prize? Here's why. Rarity and demand. Collectors all over the world are obsessed with finding these error coins. The 1995 double die penny is not only scarce, but it's also highly recognizable once you know what to look for. Combine that with the fact that Lincoln cents are among the most popular collectibles in U.S. numismatics, and you have the perfect storm for sky-high values. And when you factor in pristine condition, coins that were never heavily circulated, coins graded by top agencies like PCGS or NGC as mint state or higher, the value skyrockets even further. That's how a penny that cost just 1 cent to make could end up with an auction price tag of $7.7 million. Hashtag real life overnight. Millionaire stories. Yes, this isn't just a fantasy. There are real stories of collectors, and even casual finders, stumbling upon coins that changed their lives. Imagine this. You're cleaning out your attic, going through old jars of coins your grandparents left behind. You find a handful of pennies from the 1990s. At first glance, they look ordinary. But when you hold one up to the light, you notice the doubling on the letters. A T. That moment, your life changes. That one penny, literally pocket change, has the power to pay off debts, buy a house, or even make you a millionaire overnight. This is why coin collecting has become such a popular and thrilling hobby. Every coin you check is a lottery ticket in disguise, a hidden treasure that could be worth millions. Hashtag how to identify the $1995 million penny. Okay, here's where things get practical. If you want to know whether you've got the $7.7 million penny sitting in your collection, here's what to do. 1. Check the obverse. Front of the coin, look carefully at the words Liberty and In God We Trust. The doubling should be crisp and clear, not blurry like machine doubling, but strong with separated lines. Point 2. Use a magnifying glass or loupe. Asterisk, you don't need fancy equipment. Even a 10x magnifier from Amazon will do the job. Point 3. Check the date. Asterisk, it must be a 1995 penny. Don't confuse it with other years where doubling also occurred, like 1955 or 1972.4. Condition matters. Asterisk, the cleaner and shinier the coin, the higher the value. Coins that look almost brand new, known as mint state, can sell for astronomical amounts. Point 5. Get it graded. Asterisk, if you think you have one, send it to a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC. A certification can mean the difference between a coin worth hundreds and one worth millions. Hashtag the $7.7 million sale. One particular 1995 double die penny shocked the coin world when it sold for over $7.7 million at a high-profile auction. The coin was in nearly flawless condition, graded at the top of the scale, and had a provenance that made collectors go wild. This sale catapulted the coin into the spotlight and cemented its place as one of the most legendary error coins of all time. Could you be next? Here's the most exciting part. These coins are still out there. They're hiding in old change jars, stuck at the bottom of drawers, or even sitting unnoticed in bank rolls of pennies. Every day, people are finding these treasures. And every day, more stories of overnight wealth are being written. So don't ignore your change. Don't walk past that penny on the ground. Don't dismiss that handful of coins you got as change at the grocery store. That ordinary-looking penny could secretly be your ticket to unimaginable riches. The 1995 Lincoln penny reminds us of something extraordinary. Even the smallest, most overlooked objects in our lives can hold life-changing value. From 1 cent to $7.7 million. That's not just a coin story. That's the ultimate underdog story. So, my challenge to you is this: go check your coins right now. Look closely. Share this video with your friends and family, because the next millionaire might be watching this video today. And if you find that rare penny, remember, you didn't just find a coin. You found a piece of history, a treasure, and a ticket to overnight wealth. So keep hunting, keep collecting, and most importantly, keep believing, because the next fortune could be sitting in the palm of your hand right now. Thanks for watching, treasure hunters. Don't forget to smash that like button, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a chance to learn about the coins that could make you rich overnight. Until next time, happy hunting, and may fortune be in your pocket. Imagine holding just one small copper-colored coin in your hand, a coin that almost everyone in America has touched, tossed into a jar, or used to pay for candy, gum, or parking meters. Now imagine that very same coin, yes, a regular 1991 Lincoln penny, suddenly being worth a jaw-dropping $7.1 million. Sounds impossible, right? But in the wild world of rare coins, 1 cent can literally change your entire life. Tonight, we're diving deep into the incredible story of the 1991 Lincoln penny, why collectors are willing to pay millions for one, and how you might be sitting on a fortune without even knowing it. The year is 1991. George H.W. Bush is president, gas costs just over $1 per gallon, and millions of Lincoln pennies are rolling off the presses at the U.S. Mint. To the naked eye, these coins look the same as the billions minted before them. They feature Abraham Lincoln's profile on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner, and the iconic Lincoln Memorial on the back. Nothing seems unusual. But hidden among the countless coins, a handful were struck with rare errors and special features that make them unimaginably valuable today. Most of us would never notice these details. We spend pennies without thinking twice. But for coin collectors, a small difference can mean the difference between pocket change and life-changing wealth. So, Why is one particular 1991 penny valued at $7.1 million? It comes down to three factors: rarity, condition, and collector demand. Asterisk rarity asterisk a tiny batch of 1991 pennies left the mint with unusual errors, off-center strikes, double dies, or misprints that went unnoticed by workers at the time. These mistakes, instead of being scrapped, slipped into circulation. Only a few survive in pristine condition today. Asterisk condition asterisk collectors look for coins graded at the highest levels, known as mint state. If your penny has sharp details, no scratches, and a perfect shine, its value skyrockets. Asterisk collector demand asterisk coin enthusiasts are willing to pay enormous amounts to own unique or rare examples. For them, it's not just a coin. It's a piece of American history. One of these ultra-rare 1991 pennies recently shocked the coin world when it sold for an unbelievable $7.1 million at auction. Just picture it. A coin worth 1 cent when it was minted, now worth more than most people will ever earn in a lifetime. This is where the story gets even more exciting. Some of the most incredible finds happen completely by accident. Ordinary people, digging through their change jars, cash registers, or old piggy banks, suddenly stumble across a fortune. There are countless stories. Asterisk a man in Texas bought a soda with a penny, then realized it had an error and ended up selling it for hundreds of thousands. Asterisk a teenager searching through his grandfather's coin collection found a rare penny worth millions. Asterisk a woman cleaning out her kitchen drawer discovered a misprint coin she had been holding onto for decades. For them, it wasn't just pocket change, it was a golden ticket. And the same could happen to you. So, how do you know if your 1991 penny is worth millions? Here are the key signs. 1. Double die asterisk look closely at the date 1991 and the word Liberty. If the letters or numbers look slightly doubled or blurred, it could be a double die error. 2. Off-center strike asterisk if Lincoln's face looks off-center or parts of the design are missing, that error can make the coin extremely valuable. 3. Mint mark issues asterisk some 1991 pennies struck in Denver, D mint mark, or Philadelphia, no mint mark, have rare variations. Missing or misplaced mint marks are especially prized. 4. Condition asterisk if your penny looks brand new, with no scratches, dents, or discoloration, it could be worth far more than face value. Collectors pay millions for even tiny differences. So get a magnifying glass, check your coins, and don't overlook the details. Think about it. You're walking down the street, you see a penny on the ground, and you almost don't bother to pick it up. But what if that one penny turned out to be worth more than your house, your car, and maybe even your entire retirement savings? The 1991 Lincoln penny proves that treasures are hiding in plain sight. Every coin tells a story, and some stories can make you rich beyond imagination. So the next time you're handed change at a store, don't just shove those pennies into your pocket or leave them in a tip jar. Take a closer look, because one of those little copper coins could turn you into a millionaire overnight. Collectors, investors, and treasure hunters all agree. Rare coins like the 1991 Lincoln penny are the hidden jackpots of everyday life. You just have to know what to look for. So, grab that old jar of change, raid your piggy banks, and start hunting. Somewhere out there, a $7.1 million penny is waiting to be found. And who knows, the next millionaire might just be you. Ladies and gentlemen, coin collectors, treasure hunters, and everyday people who carry change in their pockets without even realizing the secrets hidden inside today, we are diving into one of the most shocking and unbelievable stories in the world of rare coins. Imagine this. A single 1-cent Lincoln penny from 1982, a coin you've probably overlooked 1,000 times in your life, has the power to make you rich beyond your wildest dreams. I'm talking about a penny that could turn you into a millionaire overnight, with a current market value soaring up to $6.1 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny that could be worth more than your car, your house, and maybe even your entire life savings combined. Now, before you dismiss this as impossible, let's go back in time and understand why the 1982 Lincoln penny is such a fascinating, mysterious, and life-changing coin. The year was 1982. Ronald Reagan was president, Michael Jackson was changing the world of music, and E.T. had just touched the hearts of millions in theaters across the country. But while all of that was happening, the US Mint was quietly making a major decision that would forever change the future of the penny. For over a century, pennies were made primarily of copper. But by the early 1980s, the rising cost of copper meant it was more expensive to make a penny than the coin was actually worth. Imagine that the government was losing money every time they struck a 1-cent piece. So, in 1982, the mint decided to switch the composition of the penny from 95% copper to a cheaper mix, 97.5% zinc with a thin copper coating. Now here's where the story gets really interesting. Because 1982 was the year of transition, pennies were minted in both copper and zinc, with multiple varieties. Large date, small date, copper, zinc, all mixed together. In fact, there are 7 recognized types of 1982 pennies, and to the untrained eye, they all look almost identical. But within this chaos, certain errors and rare varieties were produced, coins that should not exist, coins that slipped through the cracks, and coins that collectors today would pay astronomical prices to own. One of these mysterious 1982 Lincoln pennies has stunned the world with its shocking value. A single cent that has been valued at $6.1 million. Think about that for a second. Something you could have in your pocket right now. Something you might have dropped in a vending machine or tossed in a jar without a second thought. That very coin could actually be the key to financial freedom. The kind of discovery that changes your entire life in one heartbeat. So how do you know if you have one of these rare and valuable 1982 pennies? First, you have to understand the varieties. In 1982, the mint produced pennies in both Philadelphia and Denver, and they came in 2 sizes, large date and small date. Combine that with the 2 compositions, copper and zinc, and you've got a mix of possibilities. But among these, there are legendary varieties, including transitional errors where the wrong metal planchets were used, or rare double die strikes that make the details look doubled under magnification. These are the coins collectors hunt for day and night, and these are the coins that can sell for life-changing amounts of money at auctions. Now, here's the real kicker. A few years back, collectors started noticing unusual 1982 pennies with characteristics that didn't match up with what should have been minted. Some were struck on the wrong composition. Others had date sizes that didn't align with the known varieties. And one particular coin, an ultra-rare transitional 1982 Lincoln penny, has been appraised and valued at over $6.1 million. That is the kind of price tag you usually only hear about with rare diamonds, ancient artifacts, or world-famous paintings. But here we are, talking about a humble penny. Let that sink in for a moment. A coin worth 1 cent, now worth $6 million. This is why treasure hunters, metal detector enthusiasts, and even everyday people are combing through their spare change like detectives on a mission. Because the truth is, this penny could still be out there in circulation. Could be in a coin roll sitting at your local bank. Could be hiding in your grandfather's old collection. Could be sitting right now in a jar of pennies on top of your fridge. And if you're the lucky one to find it, your life will never be the same again. So what should you do if you have a 1982 penny? The first step is simple: weigh it. Copper pennies from 1982 should weigh about 3.11 grams, while the zinc versions weigh only 2.5 grams. Get yourself a small digital scale. They're cheap, and they can unlock a fortune. Next, study the date. Learn the difference between small date and large date. Collectors often use magnifying glasses or jeweler's loupes to spot subtle differences. And always look for signs of doubling or errors. If you find something unusual, don't ignore it. Because here's the thing. History shows us that the rarest coins often slip past people for decades. The 1943 copper penny, once thought to be impossible, has sold for over $1 million at auction. The 1955 double die penny, a mistake that never should have left the mint, now sells for tens of thousands of dollars. And the 1982 penny, with its unique varieties and shocking errors, has cemented its place among the legends of American coinage. So, while most people laugh at the idea of a penny being worth millions, the smart collectors, the treasure hunters, and the true believers know better. They know that the next great discovery could be sitting in plain sight. They know that sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest value. And they know that the 1982 Lincoln penny is not just a coin. It's a golden ticket waiting to be found. Now let me ask you this. The next time you pick up a penny off the ground, are you going to just toss it aside? Or are you going to take a closer look? Because the truth is, that little coin in your hand might not just be worth 1 cent. It might be worth $6.1 million. And if you're lucky enough to find it, you could wake up tomorrow not just a penny richer, but a millionaire overnight. So keep searching, keep collecting, and never underestimate the power of a single coin. Because in the world of Lincoln pennies, anything is possible.